Batman vs. Robin is the brand new direct-to-DVD video DC animated film, and it just so happens to be a sequel to Son of Batman. Fan favorite Jay Oliva returns to the director's chair, and famous comic scribe J.M. DeMatteis has writing duty. Now, this is the point in the review where I would usually say the movie is loosely based on a Grant Morrison story of the same name, but the fact is that's not really true. The movie grabs from all over the place, perhaps most prominently Scott Snyder's Court of Owls stories from the New 52, but it doesn't stop there. There's a little Detective Comics in here, and quite a considerable amount of Peter J. Tomasi's Batman and Robin, especially the Nobody arc. I would say it felt like they didn't know which New 52 Batman story to adapt, so they just decided to do a whole bunch of them, but really that's not true. At this point in these DC animated features, they seem to be less interested in doing straight-up adaptations, and instead just, kind of forging their own path and making their own movies by only taking just a little reference from the comic material. Right off the bat, the movie treats us to a very moody, almost horror-themed segment wherein Damian Wayne, Batman's son, goes out on his own to try and stop a psychotic villain, the Dollmaker, who has kidnapped a bunch of Gotham's children. Jason O'Mara and Stuart Allen return to fill the voice roles of Batman and Damian respectively, and I must say the young Allen has actually done a pretty good job growing into the role of Damian. It seems the newest Robin is still battling his darker impulses and the urge to kill the bad guys. This is only exasperated by the appearance of Talon, who hopes to turn the young boy to the dark side. And no, before you ask, he isn't William Cobb. In fact, he's never actually given a name, period, although his brown hair would lead me to believe that he might actually be Calvin Rose. In fact, he's not any of the Talons from the comics, period, because they create a brand new origin story for him here. One that parallels Damian's own relationship with Batman. And at the other end of the plot, we have Bruce, struggling to be a dad while also trying to unravel the mystery of the Court of Owls, a secret society with a fetish for the kind of bird that likes to eat bats. While the overall style and tone of the Court and their Talons stay true to their comic counterparts, their motives and even level of influence have been changed considerably. The movie also does away with important characters like Lincoln March, replacing him with someone completely different. It's these two dueling stories jockeying for screen time that really might be the biggest problem with Batman vs. Robin, and that is that these two stories really do seem to be at odds with themselves, and it makes it hard to really decide who the movie is even actually about at the end of it. In the few scenes when Bruce and Damian are actually in the same room together, the movie comes to life in great ways, offering all the father-son family type stuff that was desperately missing from Son of Batman. There's even some fun comedy bits in there I quite enjoyed. Dick Grayson Nightwing also got a beefed up role for this film, which is nice, but it's kind of strange because his role from the Court of Owls storyline is completely cut, so he just kind of feels like a tag-along here. I get the strong feeling he's really only here for variety, because if it wasn't for him, it would have just been Bruce and Damian glowering at each other. On the visual side of things, Batman vs. Robin is a great looking movie, and the fight choreography is a sight to behold. Just so much variety going on here. So many different types of kicks and punches, battles with blades and guns. It's all very exhilarating. The movie even gets straight up trippy for a moment as we're treated to the maze scene from the Court of Owls comics. The score is also very tight, and I particularly liked the guitar strum that undercut Damian's scenes. Now, it's no secret that these DC animated movies like to push the envelope as far as adult content goes, and the fans, myself included, respect them for it. But there was some creative choices in this one that kinda had me scratching my head. There's plenty of swearing to go around, and that's one thing, but also young Bruce Wayne kills an owl, and its blood splatters all over a nearby window. That's kind of disturbing, although perhaps a little enlightening for Batman's own psychosis. There's quite a few brutal scenes of child abuse, both implied and more in your face. It all just felt a tad gratuitous in ways that the other movies never did. In summation, Batman vs. Robin is a great looking, great sounding movie that sadly feels a bit disconnected and tone deaf in the writing department. Damian goes along with the bad guys a little too easily, and he sees the light in a really unconvincing way. Even the big fight between father and son that's touted in the title, while great to watch from a choreography standpoint, is over pretty damn quick and doesn't carry the impact that it really should. Now, don't get me wrong, Batman vs. Robin is better than the last couple of animated DC movies, and definitely better than its predecessor, Son of Batman, but it's still flawed, which is why I can only give it a 6.5 out of 10. You can see this movie yourself today on iTunes and other digital means. The complete DVD Blu-ray release is slated for April 14th.